product. And that's a perception that unfortunately we need to change as an accessibility community. Adobe Acrobat X accessibility overview, we have a number of features in Acrobat. Oh, Acrobat X or Acrobat 10, we don't want to call it Acrobat 10. It's version 10, but we call it Acrobat X, the Roman numeral for it. So Acrobat X is the latest version that's available. It has already some built-in accessibility features and provisions that let you use assistive technology software with it. So as I said, there are built-in provisions. And they also work with conventional assistive technology devices such as screen readers, screen magnifiers, braille displays, and things like that. And the other thing that we have is also a capability or a feature that lets you customize Acrobat for your particular type of assistive technology. So there are specific options that will automatically be set if you are a screen reader user, and if you are a magnifier user, there is a different set of options. That is the accessibility setup assistant, which we will be talking about shortly. As I said, there are a number of built-in features already in Acrobat. Has anyone heard of Read Out Loud? That's available in Reader also. It is not a replacement for a screen reader, but it can let you read, or it is a text-to-speech. It uses the Microsoft SAPI text-to-speech on Windows to read out the PDF content. So if you are a magnifier user and you're reading through a long document, you may use that. We also have very good reflow capabilities and options for low vision users for increasing text size and things like that. There are a lot of keyboard shortcuts. Almost all the functions in Acrobat and Reader are keyboard accessible. Here's the list of all the features. Reflow, we have auto scroll. If you have motor difficulties and you cannot scroll, we also have an auto scroll mode. Read out loud. We support a number of conventional assistive technology devices, as I said, screen reader wise, JAWS, Windows, NVDA, Dolphin, HAL, and also Supernova. We work with a number of, we try and use the platform accessibility APIs such as MSAA wherever possible, but we also have something called the IPD DOM, which is a DOM-based API that assistive technologies can use to get access to the PDF document, and they can provide that to the users. I am not sure what the current state of affairs is. Linux, or if there is an option to read PDF files with Orca. Sorry about that. I believe there is, but I'm not sure how. On the Mac OS side of things, Adobe Reader is not accessible with the VoiceOver screen reader, but there is a default app called Preview, which displays PDF files, and VoiceOver can read with, is accessible, or you can use VoiceOver with that app. We also work to a certain degree with voice recognition software such as Dragon Naturally Speaking and other products. So as we say, we have built-in accessibility features as well as support for third-party assistive devices. This slide talks about the setup assistant. As I said, when you're running a screen reader and when you install Adobe Acrobat or Reader for that matter, you will be presented with this dialog when you open it for the first time, and it will ask you to customize the Acrobat's accessibility settings to suit your particular type of assistive technology. That's quite handy. You should always go through those options and make sure that you select the right ones. There are different categories. As I said, if you're a screen reader user, there is a certain set of options that will be automatically set. If you are a magnifier user, there's another set of options. So we've tried to identify the options that are more relevant for depending on the assistive technology you use. So you can do this, or I think if you haven't come across this dialog for the first time, because someone else has opened it and they were not a screen reader user on your computer, you have to go into the tools pane, which you can go by pressing F6, which is a keyboard command, and then go down into the accessibility and click on Setup Assistant or Activate Setup Assistant. Most of the complaints that I receive from people, especially end users, is that there are boatloads and millions and trillions of PDFs that are scanned images. People just go to their scanner copier machine in the office, or they have these MFDs these days, just scan it and save it as PDF. There is no text in it, there's nothing, it's just an image which they could have happily saved it as a JPG as well. But people use PDF, and it's the same as having a JPEG, but it's in a PDF. So there is no text, it is just an image. So what we offer in Acrobat Pro is OCR capabilities, and that feature is called Recognize Text. So whenever you open a PDF that is a scanned image, Acrobat will automatically detect that and offer you the chance to actually go and recognize this text. And for those sighted users who may be using the scanner to do such things, please say yes to that text recognizing thing, and please recognize the text and save it. Otherwise, any assistive technology users will not be able to do anything with the PDF file. There's also a feature where if you scanned a form, or if you have imported a document that looks like a form, there is a form field detection feature in Acrobat, and what it will basically do is it will try to identify if your document is a form, and if it's a form, or if it looks like a form, it will try to identify the checkboxes, text fields, etc., and also try to identify their labels and assign them. It is a tricky process. It again uses OCR to a certain extent, as well as artificial intelligence kind of a thing. So algorithms, it's never perfect. You should go and check if the text has been recognized correctly and the fields have been recognized correctly. But there is that option in Acrobat if you are creating forms. And in fact, one of the good things about creating PDF forms in Acrobat is that screen reader users or persons with disabilities who may not be able to write with a pen on a printed form, they can actually use the PDF form and fill it up with their screen reader, with the help of their screen reader. So it's important to make the PDF forms accessible as well. So I personally prefer, because I live in the UK and I'm on a work visa, the visa application is 52 pages long. And it is an accessible PDF in a way that you cannot edit, you cannot enter your information onto the PDF, into the document and then take a printout of it. No. You have to print it out and write with a black pen, black ink pen, 52 pages. My wife was pissed off. Okay, so if that was an Acrobat form where I could enter the details myself, I could have done it on my own. I didn't have to rely on someone else and be concerned that they might write something wrong. Because it's 52 pages, even if you're trying to verify, you might skip a few items. So, and it's an important application as well, so you don't want to go wrong. So that's one of the biggest concerns I have. People scan them, they recognize the text, but they just don't do the form field thing. So it's not an interactive PDF. You cannot enter information into it. There's another little thing about making PDF documents accessible. For accessibility purposes, there are essentially two types of PDF files. One is tagged PDF, the other is untagged PDF.